Greetings. Some wonderful things that happened this week here in the low country of Georgia and South Carolina. And this week right here, we've seen some progressive change, progressive movements, I should say. Seeds have been planted, and some of those seeds are now taking root and have been nurtured and going forward with regards to changing this area. And so hopefully it will change the entire country. And I tell folks this, that the truth is independent. The truth is independent. Truth will stand against anything. And I let people clearly understand this too. Some of y'all heard me say this, that I don't care if 1,000 people are telling you a lie. If you know the truth, you speak the truth, and you stand on the truth. And eventually what will happen, some of those people spitting out the lies will come over to your side because the truth is simple. The truth is real. The truth is rooted in the soil. So this week right here, we've seen changes. But let me go back to something. Some of you who attended Savannah State University, you know I tell you all to do papers on research about movements. And why do I do that? Because I want to show some of you, let some of y'all get an idea that one person can change the world. One person can change the entire world. But some of you have this mistaken idea that one person can't change the world. But some of my people, you know what I'm trying to do. I want you to understand you can change the world, and you stand on the truth. So I'm here at Tybee, same location that stuff began a couple of weeks ago with regards to me beaching while black. And I had to speak to the Tybee City Council on yesterday and gave my accounts. And I told them about when I think of Tybee, what I think about, and gave them this account of the history that's tied right here. But I did share with them on yesterday also. I said that I had been prepared for this. So when that Caucasian woman had the police to come over to me, guess what? See, some of y'all think that it was just something by happenstance and that Jamal wasn't ready for it. Jamal was ready for it because I've been prepared. You know how I've been prepared? In the spring of last year, 2019, I had someone else try to go and throw some lies at me. A Caucasian professor or staff person or a group of them, I don't know if it's one or if more than one, I suspect, at least one, we know that. At Savannah State University. Oh, beaching while black. You can also have teaching while black at an HBCU. So what occurred last year, this person or persons went and said that I was inciting the African American students there to be menacing to Caucasian professors or staff. We know that's absolutely false. That was false. So that's what they did. See, but some people don't understand this about Jamal. Jamal is a fighter. You don't punk me like that. We don't bow down to anyone. So that's what they did at an HBCU. And just like with Malcolm said that he couldn't stop a riot. He didn't have the ability to do that, but that's what they did. Because see, with those scholars at Savannah State, I understand that they have intelligence. I know that they are leaders. I see the greatness in them. So they thought because those students began to ask a question about the White Tigers that I thought was a booster club at one time. And see, there are administrators there at Savannah State. There are alums at Savannah State. There are faculty members at Savannah State who know about this amorphous group. And because just in a class, I just brought it up in a class when I had been told by this, just by an administrator at the state capitol in Atlanta that very week, because I brought it up and the students began to question. They say it was all germinated by Teray. That's a lie. You all had germinated that. So the students questioned. So the people, then when they say, oh, he's threatening us, he's causing students to threaten us. And once again, it was diminished. So I was prepared for what happened here at Tybee Island based on what happened in the spring of 2019. And as I said to them at the Tybee City Council, so 2 times I've had this experience. The 3rd time might not work out for me. But that's why we need to stop. We need to stop with the falsehoods. I would suggest that some of you might need to read White Fragility, you might need to read White Rage. So you want to talk about race, you might need to read some of that to not understand what is happening in the society for you now to deal with the truth and not the falsehood. And so my folks, my scholars, I tell you all are leaders of today, not tomorrow, the present leaders. So that's what you need to do. But the power of that one person. What happened in June of this year, my cousin Galen Miller, when I went to Hilton Head, he told me when I had to get up to speak, he said, Give it to them. Don't hold anything back. And so I got up there and I talked about plantations. I talked about how disrespectful that is, plantations, for people to live on plantations. I said Africans, Caucasians, Latinos, Asians, Native Americans. It is disrespectful to our ancestors, to their legacy, and dehumanizing us and dehumanizing our people. You don't live and go and propagate that mythology like there was noble places. It was just like a concentration camp. So a movement was started on Hilton Head Island. Well, they had been in place, but all we did was just nurture it a little bit, gave it some water, gave it some more light, and they started a petition. Those good folks over there said, good people don't mind standing up for the truth. Good people stand for the truth. Falsehood is embedded in the minds of those who ain't trying to do good. Just something simple. Gullah Geechee understanding. So what happened? They started a movement, the petition, and then even the editorial section of the Island Packet. Everyone began to talk about this, that they got to have this conversation right now. And then what occurred this week right here, one of the gated communities have now removed plantation off of their name. They now began to understand what this is about. It's about goodness, about us not changing this world. One person, when Galen Miller said, cuz, you go ahead and give it to him. So that one person, Jamal Touré, had been discussing this since the 90s, 2000, 2010s. Queen Quetta and I discussed this last week, that I have been on this. So see how that one voice can resonate, that again, not to say the one voice changed everything, that one voice helped nurture what occurred. It gave the spark to it. One person can change. And the incident that happened out here on yesterday, what occurred with that, what's that? There's a resolution now in Tybee where not as strong as some people wanted, but it is now at least a forward step with regard to having inclusion, that everyone not hearing the story. So here go this one person who wanted to try to shut me down out here. So then that way we will not have inclusion. Guess what? They got defeated by good people. Then here go the same thing with regards to those folks last year in 2019 who then wanted to stop us from being a spark for other people. They tried to stop us, and guess what? It didn't happen. So now some of those young people who just graduated from Savannah State are now some of the leaders of these movements going across the entire country right now that some of you don't even realize. But see, I understand the greatness in them. And then also, let's go to Hilton Head Island. So when some thought it couldn't be done, it has now started. A movement has now been erected to now rectify the wrongs. That is what this nation must be about. When we say we are Americans, that's what it's about. It's about all of us saying this melting pot must be real, not a fantasy, must be real, not a mythology. It must be real. And that's the work that we all do. So one person can't change the world. So my folks, understand there's never let anybody stop you with regards to going forward on what is good, what is right, what is moral, what is ethical. Yeah. Truth will always rise. Wakil Jal Haq. Truth has arrived. Falsehood must perish, because falsehood by its very nature is bound to perish. And that's what I know. As long as I'm speaking the truth, falsehood is going to perish. And so each one of you understand that. So when you try to come at me with your lies, guess what? As long as I know I got truth on the side, it's going to end. And my former intern, Keyshawn Howes, he said something. He said, Jamal, he said in the fall, they don't realize what they got when they got you. Jamal, they don't realize them. Keyshawn and I laugh. But Keyshawn, oh, they know, because that's what they want. They want this type of spirit with regard to their scholars also. So that's what the deal is. So see, again, changes have happened this week right here in the Low Country, on Tybee and on Hilton Head. So inclusion, that's what it's about. Yeah, inclusion. The fullness of the story. Respect of our ancestors. Respect of our people. No more playing games, because that's about some of it's tied to lies. We stand on truth. Wakil Jal Haq.